Aoife Dean, and this is the Happy Weight Podcast. So yeah, you probably saw by the name of the episode that this is like a goodbye for a while episode, because we've done lots of episodes now. We've covered a lot of ground, and also I need a little bit of a break because there's other stuff coming up, and of course my one-to-one clients will always take preference with my time and energy. And I really want to put together an amazing course. Like, I want to knock it out of the park with a food noise course, because food noise is everything. Food noise is the difference between you and your ideal weight. So food noise is something we have to crack. And so I really want to just do like such a comprehensive course. So I'm going to need the time and energy in order to be able to do that. And I've got some other exciting projects on. Like, I think I'm going to be on TV, which will be cool. But although I've told the world about that and it isn't filmed yet, so I'm like, I've probably jinxed it. But today, right, I do want to give you a ton of support. Like, I really want to make like a consolidated episode of what I really think would help you get things across the line with your results and your changes and moving forward with your progress. But before I do any of that, I actually want to do a major shout out to some people. So I've had a lot of like nice messages and comments and support, and it's been really, really amazing, because like, I'm passionate about this stuff, and I think we can all get to the other side of overeating and weight problems and binge eating. I know it because I've done it and I've helped other people do it. So I'm really passionate about getting the word out there, but also it makes a big difference when it's not just me talking to myself and there's actually people listening and there's actually people benefiting from this. So that's really cool. So I really want to give a shout out to Anne Tony in the US. She sends me lovely messages of support, and Trisha in Melbourne, she's commented. We've been emailing, like, also the more you comment or get on to me, then the more I can help you, basically, even through the episodes. And Charmaine in Colorado. I'm going to get some of these names wrong. And with a name like Aoife, I know like the minute I leave the shores of Ireland, my name is butchered. So I really apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. Diane in Toronto, Candida in Germany. I'm definitely probably saying that wrong, but thanks so much for being there and for messaging and everything. Laura in Australia. Ishka Rose, you're so good. You're always commenting on Spotify. You always seem to be there for me. You seem to be there like most weeks. That's so cool. And then with the Irish contingent, we've Donna, we've Marguerite, we've Ashling. There's more than one. Ashling, Quiva, Jazz, Carol, Helen. If you have one of those names and you've mentioned to me that you like the podcast, or you've worked with me and you mentioned the podcast helps, I'm probably talking about you. So thanks a million, basically, for the comments and the support. It's really, really cool. And also today, I want to just, like I said, I want to give you tips that will really bring things over the line for you in the next month or two, because the more challenging time can actually be the best opportunity. So like, coming into Christmas, you know your old ways maybe with eating in previous Christmases, previous holiday seasons. So this is such an opportunity to do things differently. Not even better. I'm not going to use the word better. I just think if we throw a spanner in the works of our old patterns and we just do stuff differently, that's already going to get different results. And the other reason I'm taking a break right now is because there's actually quite a few podcast episodes about Christmas. So there's episode 36, episode 37, episode 38. They will be really like defined Christmas specific help for you over the next few weeks. And then as I was like finding what episodes were the Christmas ones, I was like, another like few handy episodes are episode 24, which is Bad Day SOS, episode 32, which is Staying Motivated, and episode 34 is I would have lost weight 10 times over if I had done these things. So I think they would be super helpful. And like, me and Jack were chatting about this goodbye episode, and he's like, you could just jump on, jump off, whatever. And I was like, then when I was like thinking about recording this, I was like, of course, I had 9 million ideas that I'm like, I definitely want to share with you, and I definitely think that they would help you. But I'm going to stick to my script, and I'm going to just mention, I think it's four things that just basically keep in mind when you're eating and weight is not going your way. It might be that you're doing these things, and it will help explain them and it will help you get out of it. So the first thing, right, is, the food noise, the whole like, oh, I'm in the wrong place. Oh my God, when will this go away? When will this not be a problem? Thinking a lot about food, like, why did I eat that yesterday? Why am I in a bad phase? Like, when will I sort out my weight? How will I sort out my weight? Just that kind of rumination and obsession, and being really basically pissed off with your current position. So there's one thing, like, this took me minimum 18 months into my kind of mindfulness journey and getting out of all of this to realize the food noise is not there because of your current position. The big mistake that you could make is, if I was eating better lately, or if I was my ideal weight, or if I was slimmer by now, I wouldn't have to be coping with this food noise and with this kind of feeling wrong and not feeling enough and feeling like a failure. And like, I'm just like, you have to learn this, that you are not having that food noise because of the weight. You are having the weight because of that food noise. So if someone never in their life had eating or weight issues, and today, I think it's the 5th of November or whatever, when I'm recording this, if this morning they woke up and they started to think about everything that was wrong with their body, everything that was wrong with their eating, everything that's showing signs that they're in a bad phase, or that it's all going down the Swanee, like it's all going, pear-shaped, whatever, like, give it 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months, they will be in a weight problem. So your food noise is the predictor of what's coming next. It's not because of where you're at. And don't lie to yourself that if you were slimmer and if you were size whatever you want to be, your head would be clear, because that could not be further from the truth. Like, sometimes people have more food noise when they lose weight because maybe they did it in a willpower, diety, controlling way, and now they're terrified of putting back on that weight. And so obviously I work with people overweight, normal weight, underweight, anorexic, and your actual kilos of weight do not predict how noisy your mind is. So it's the other way around. You quieten your mind and you pep yourself up, and I'll give you tools on that too, and you will solve the weight problem. But losing weight will not solve that food noise. Losing weight will not give you a feeling of enoughness or I'm not a failure or anything like that. It's those feelings we have to see as the actual problem. And I'm constantly reminding my clients, like even one this morning, I was reminding her that at the start of the program, when we had gone over all the mindset stuff, at that point, she would have been a higher weight, I think significantly a higher weight, right? And at around that time, a few weeks in, her food noise was very, very quiet. And then today, which is just totally normal in behavioral change, we've seasons, we've waves, we're always learning, we're always advancing with each wave. But her food noise was very loud this week. And I was like, you can't say your food noise is because of your current weight, because back in April or whatever, you were a heavier weight and your food noise was quieter. So see the food noise as the problem, and your weight is just the result, the end point of that food noise. So that icky feeling of I'm not enough, I'm, failing, I'm fat, I'm in the wrong place, my eating isn't good enough, all of that is what has to shift. I think this is nearly always it, right? You've been thinking about what you don't want more than you've been thinking about what you do want. So maybe it's kind of crept up again, that you've been thinking about, like, I really don't like my body though. Like, I really don't like it. I really don't like this fat. I actually do want to change. This isn't good enough or whatever. So you start focusing on the fat again. You start focusing on what you don't want. You're like, but I don't want to be a size bigger by Christmas, or I don't want to still be here in a year's time, and you're kind of thinking about all of that again. And it's like, your job is, all of your thoughts are programming your subconscious mind. So you want to be feeding your subconscious mind with where you do want to go. So it's kind of like the whole world of overeating, binge eating, fat, calories, too much calories, that's not your world. If you're listening to this podcast, that is not your world. Your world, the one you want to work towards and the one you want to be in, is feeling healthy, feeling energetic, feeling light, feeling strong, feeling better, feeling proud of yourself, feeling confident, feeling happy. So, like, when we have a contrasting moment, like, as in, say, we do feel heavy, or, say we did eat a lot last night, now we feel heavy. The trick is to use that as contrast. It's like, wow, I'm really happy that this happened because it just reminded me this heavy feeling so doesn't suit me. Like, I actually love when I'm feeling pleasant in the morning, or I love when my belly feels like the perfect level of full, or, just use the feelings you don't like as a bigger reminder about what you do like and what you do want, and then go thinking about that. Because I remember when I learned a lot of this on my hypnotherapy diplomas. But, like, if I was to divide how often I thought about fatness and me fatter in a year and me bigger in a year versus how often I thought about, like, yeah, every day in every way I'm getting like healthier and I'm figuring myself out and I'm having a nicer time with food and I'm letting go of heaviness. And so then by like June next year, or, just you have to really do it in baby steps so your brain can believe it. But, like, gradually, day by day and week by week, I'm just starting to feel better. So, like, I get it. I get why or how I could be feeling really nice by next Easter. And it's like, that's the programming we want to be doing. So we want to be thinking about slimness or whatever our goal is. If you're an undereater listener and if you want like a healthy weight, you want to be strong and well, whatever your goal is, like, our mind has to be thinking about that a hell of a lot more at times than what we don't want. If you feel that your behaviors with food this week, say, or in the last 2 or 3 weeks have been a bit crappy, right? How I see it is that, it's kind of almost like a longer version of 3 weeks ago. You decided to jump out of a plane without a parachute, and now you're experiencing the falling. Okay, because it's kind of like our behaviors are always the result of how we were thinking. So maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, either, like I said, you started thinking about what you don't want again, and you started to think about what's not good enough about your body or what's not good enough about your eating. You started like just letting judgment in, letting criticism in a bit more. So you made your bed there and now you have to lie in it. So there's going to be an aftermath of kind of shitty mindless behaviors. That's I don't know how to explain it any clearer, but it's just something I really found out for myself anyways, that, like, everything we're experiencing now, and not just with our eating and weight, but in every part of our life, we're kind of living out the choices and the mindset that we had, say, 3 months ago, 3 years ago. Like, we're in the fruits of our old mindset. And now we want to, accept that, while at the same time make sure that the fruits of the mindset we have today will be different in a week's time, 3 weeks' time, whatever. So, like, basically, we have to change our mindset. So I suppose one of the things that we have to do there, right, is because all of this behavioral change, right, is forgetting, remembering. Like, as in, you might come back to these episodes after 6 months and they might sound different because you're at a different place now, or you hear it all again with fresh ears, or you hear it all again and it makes more sense, or something like that. So, one thing we forget to do when we're in a bad place and our behaviors aren't great is that we've started looking at what we haven't done rather than what we have done. Like, I kind of think a very, very helpful thing to do is realize how lucky you are. So I think what builds us up is, first of all, reminding ourselves that it's just a preference. Like, I like feeling comfortable. I like feeling nice after a meal. I like the nights where I go to bed feeling nice rather than overpacked. I like the days where I look back on the day and everything I ate was super memorable, to my liking. I didn't bother with like waste or stuff that's not my thing, or, I really asked, does food deserve me? And, those days are so memorable. So, like, just reminding yourself of all the things that are suited to you and you enjoy. You enjoy the feeling of being strong or fit or light or progressing, any of those feelings, or being proud of yourself. That's another lovely one. and then realizing again how lucky you are. So the fact of the matter is, there are literally thousands and millions of people today who would love to be your weight. They would give anything to have one day at your weight. And unfortunately, the reality is most of them never will. They might never, ever be the way that you are today. So, for the sake of those people, really enjoy your weight. Like, don't take it for granted. You know, what's that saying? What you take for granted gets taken off of you. So, like, say, if you're not grateful for your size 16 body, pretty soon it will be a size 18 body, or, you know, whatever. I don't want to use sizes, but like, whatever we're not grateful for gets worse, whatever worse means in our opinion. Be an excellent representation of this size and weight, and not because you're always going to be here, but because you don't plan on being here for long, and because loads of people would give anything. Like, think how many people are spending loads of money now every month trying to get down to your weight. Like, a lot of people are doing that. So it's kind of like, you get to be proud of yourself. And also, I kind of think of it like, if you got a temp job, you know, in a company, if you smash that out of the park, if you were just such a ridiculously good employee and everyone was mad about you and you gave more than was expected of you, like, you'd be doing that not because you want to be a temp forever. If you were acting that way and working that way, it's like, that's a surefire way to be a temp for the absolute shortest amount of time, because you will be promoted pretty quickly. And it's like, we want to do the same with our weight. We want to show the universe that we're such a good carer of our body. We're so proud of it. We're so conscious of all that it does for us, how lucky we've been, all that we've put it through and it's forgiven us for, all the things it's gotten over and healed from, and, you know, how it's really been there despite us sometimes not being grateful for it or not really supporting it. So yeah, we get to be really, really proud. And it's kind of like, you know, in a bad phase, it's about you jumping up to that step of being proud. Because, you know, I was talking to a new client there, and like, I always notice it when I'm in a food meeting with clients, and especially in the first meeting and stuff. We're both doing it. We're like literally getting higher and higher. We're both like, I love feeling light. And, you know, the more you talk about like being proud of yourself and being light and all the rest of it, your posture literally changes. So it's like, we want to get out of the doldrums, and we want to get out of that funk, and we want to get out of that mental heaviness and that physical heaviness. And you can snap into a new mindset at any stage. And that's why mindset will always work. And like, behaviors are a result of mindset. So don't be like, oh, if I could just get 5 good days behind me, then I'd be proud of myself. Or if I could just lose 3 pounds, then I'd be happy. Like I said, that's all backwards. Like, you know, food noise causes weight. Weight loss does not reduce food noise. And the same with feeling proud and confident, and that you're in the right place at the right time and you've all the tools you need to go where you want to go. Like, when you get into that state, that creates the new future. So it really doesn't matter what we weigh today, and it really does not matter what we've eaten this week. We get to step up to like that level and just operate from there. Like, that's another thing I was saying to a client yesterday. I was like, we're not going down there again. You know, like how we used to talk to ourselves, like when we had a weight problem, or how we used to talk about our body, or how we used to talk about our eating. You know, we're not doing it. It's just, depending on how intentional you are about wanting to become the way you want to become, you're not going down there again. Like, you are not going to talk to yourself like a fat person, because fat is a feeling, not a size. There are so many people that are bigger than you right now, and they are hot and they are sexy and they are attractive, and no one can deny it. So I do think a part of us knows that this is all about mindset, because you could be gorgeous at this weight if you wanted to, but it's not all about weight. It's about our mindset. It's about how we're feeling in ourselves. So that comes first. So, okay, now I am kind of tangenting, so I better go. But yes, and check out my programs as well, of course, if you need more support. And I'll really miss this. like I probably will be back, in a few months. But I really will miss this. So if you do listen to this podcast, keep in touch. Like send me comments or whatever. That would be cool. And and have a lovely Christmas and have a lovely few months. And thank you so much for listening. Mwah.